I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock. That means it's the big metal detecting show. Good evening! How are we all? So, the reason for this, I've had a little bit of a treat this week. I went off for a look around a place called the Viking Axe, which is an axe throwing place in Macclesfield. It's not just that, it's something special. It's basically a Viking long haul. With the way it's been made, and it's got the throwing lanes, but there's so much more going on. Anyway, I'm far too warm. It's too hot to wear anything like this, so let's get back to reality and put the normal hat on instead. Here we are. So, as I said, it's Thursday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the big metal detecting show. Hope you're all not melting, and I hope your machines have been working well. I've heard one or two machines haven't had the greatest of weeks in relation to the heat. So, sadly. Anyway, without further ado, I've got a very, very busy lineup to start the show with. First and foremost, just to let you know, as of next week, the podcast will be back. We'll be running We'll be running the show alongside the podcast at the same time. So you'll be able to have this show, which you can watch anytime anytime after or during, obviously, because it will be on YouTube and we will put it up on you'll be able to go back onto any of our platforms and find it, but also you'll be able now to listen to it on podcast at any time. And I know there's a few people who do like on the way to the rallies, listening to the podcast version, and do like a couple of long haul drivers as well, including a good friend of mine, Andre Figueiredo, who likes to listen to the podcast. So thankfully, the world's calmed down, and we've got the bandwidth to be able to do that now. So, Luke, what I'm going to do first and foremost, we're going to run through the big news of the week. So, Luke, I'm about to share the screen, if I may, and I will mosey on around to this folder here and this video here. So let me just check that I am sharing. No, not yet. So, start again, shall we? So, Luke, I am sharing the screen. It wouldn't be us if we didn't have a few issues, and it's generally me. Yeah. Okay. Right, I've made a little bit of a mistake again, so we'll start this again. I do apologise. Luke just ran me midway through to tell me I'd done it wrong, and I apologise. So let's start that video again.
A metal detectorist says he was left shaking with happiness after discovering a set of Bronze Age artefacts in a field in the Scottish borders. Experts say the find is of national significance. It includes a complete horse harness preserved by the soil and a sword. James Shaw reports.
Moments before this photograph was taken, Marius Stepien realised that he had discovered something extraordinary. His metal detector had located a treasure trove of pieces up to 3,000 years old.
I never see these objects and decide to stop because this is more and more important objects.
It is one of the most important finds from the Bronze Age there's ever been in Scotland, a complete horse harness, which for the first time will allow experts to understand how this piece of ancient technology was put together. A sword still in its scabbard was also found, and part of the axle of a chariot. Archaeologists spent weeks working at the site before the items were ready to be moved to Edinburgh for further investigation.
We sent the images over to some specialists to have a look at, and it came back that they thought they were Bronze Age. Knowing that Marius had stopped digging and was still getting signals, that's when it became very exciting, because we knew there was still material in the ground, and that gives a lot of potential.
These pieces of the past must have belonged to a significant individual, a tribal chief perhaps, or warlord. It will be some months before work on the hoard is completed, and members of the public will be able to see for themselves this remarkable insight into Scotland's ancient history. James Shaw, BBC News, Glasgow.
Now, how absolutely fantastic was that? Stunning find, and fantastic not both for the finder but for Scottish history too. Now I'm going to, because of my ineptitude, I'll quickly run through the rest of our bits and bobs. Thanks to Ken Sansom this week, who sent me fridge magnets and stickers and such like for History Hunters and Finds. Scotland the Brave, Dundee City of Discovery. You can find the History Hunters and Finds Facebook group if you're interested in that. Detector Network have I don't know if I'm actually allowed to say anything as such, but they do have something of consequence new again, which will be popping up for the launch very soon. Let me just, yeah, there you go. Some big news coming up, so I'm not going to say anything else on that for the time being. Celtic Stags have a rally, and the rally, let's share, shall we? In fact, Luke, can we share again? And we're only looking at pictures, so we don't have to share the audio. So, onto here. Go away. So if we go down, got some obviously new articles for myself, but Celtic Stag Detectorist, if you pop along to that group, basically they are based in South Wales and have a lot of organised rallies, and they do have one called the Pagan Rally in a couple of weeks' time. So if you are interested in that, please pop along to the Celtic Stag Detectorists Facebook group. I've mentioned obviously the Viking axe. Composite cleaning pencil have another item coming out shortly. It's not so much related to the cleaning, but it does look fantastic nonetheless. Other news this week, we've put another article on. There you go, and another one. There you go, and another one. There you go. I've had a big week this week. I'm not going to run through going through them, but as you can see, they are on the big Metal Detecting Show Facebook group for you to find. Machetes, Guns and Knuckle Dusters pulled from the water in Cambridge. Julian shares his treasure hunting things. A boy of 10 discovered a Bronze Age gold in Andover. In fact, I will look at that because it's a lovely piece. Thought it was foil until his dad had a look, and it turns out it was that. A gold ribbon believed to be 5,000 years old. So that's a beautiful find. 2 wedding rings found buried deep in the sand in northeast. Metal detecting duo find rich pickings in Gordonstown. The Detecting Hub, next week's guest, we've got an introduction to them on the Fake Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine website. Which articles that have gone on this week? We've got the full Metal Detecting Man movie, an article which was pointed out to us by Negios Tufi from Bosnia about a real-life sword in the stone. So he's provided us with the pictures and such like of that. Another article, the Phenomenology of Metal Detecting, Insights from a Unique Type of Landscape Experience. This is actually under a Creative Commons Attributions license, so we're able to use this paper as long as we cite where it's come from and who the author is. So it's a metal detecting academic paper. An interview with Arek, designer and founder of Router's Metal Detectors. Coins mysteriously appear in tree trunks up and down the country. Get off my land, how to get a farmer's permission. Detecting Hub, mudlarking, what it's all about. Our visit to the Viking Axe in Macclesfield, including video. The future of studying hobbyist metal detecting in Europe, a call for transnational approach by Susie Thomas, which is another academic paper. And the Bronze Age artifacts discovered in Scotland. Medieval wine windows making a comeback. What evidence do we have for the role of portable material culture, including pottery, in the British Neolithic? And that's by a friend of mine, Alison Smith, so she's given us permission for the reproduction of that. And finally, the most recent one is the bearded axe theory, which is a theory put to the world by Andrew Mayo from the Viking Axe. So that's enough of all that. Let's get back to the show. One or two more things. I do apologise. Firstly, I had a package on Saturday morning from metal detectorist Dave Donaghy. Dave's also a cartoonist, and look at that. Wrong colour, Dave. Cartoonist and author. So he's wrote this book, which is this must-read book for all these daft people who walk in the fields and dig holes. Just a normal day in the life of a time-travelling metal detectorist. And you can find that by David L. Donaghy on Amazon. And there's also several more books about Fiona Fartybum, great kids books, and holiday cartoons as well. I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, a member of the group that I loosely chair. It's Colin Tansley. Colin was struck down with a debilitating illness last year, maybe even the back end of the year before, and unfortunately people, the doctors and specialists weren't able to actually comprehend what it was. From being a big strapping ex-army man, he's now only just getting able to walk again via the help of Zimmer frames, and he's pushed himself to the point where this week he went out metal detecting, walking for the first time in a long time. And I know we all know how important metal detecting is to us, for not just health but well-being as well. So a big shout out for Colin there. It's great to see that. This weekend I'm hopefully going to be at the Quernmore Rally, run by Band of Brothers MDG up in Lancaster, and that's it. Let's say hello to a few people before we bring on our guests, which we're getting very late. I do apologise. Darren Booth, Bob Hope, Robert Collinson, Suffolk Searcher, Scotty B, Adrian Gaylor, Ken Sampson, Graham Lowe, TC Detect, Adrian Gaylor, John Clayton, Detector Network, Phil Wills, Dirt Diggers UK, good evening Scott and Kimmy, William Hargreaves, good evening William, nice to see you, Kev Marchese, Phil Sheldon. Let's bring on the guests. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's guests are YouTubers, big finds and small finds. This is Jamie Evans and Tom Evans. Good evening, gents.
Good evening.
And you've just been privy to another balls up on my behalf. Wouldn't be me if it didn't happen.
No, definitely not.
Lovely to meet you both, gents. If you would like to both to introduce yourself, that would be marvellous.
Yes, I'm Tom, 30. I've been, don't look it. I'm not so young looking yet. So, yeah, I've been furloughed at the moment, which isn't nice. But being able to get out and metal detect is great during this time. Obviously, the heat's, a hard one. But, yeah, no, I work at ARCHMDMAG Castle. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get permission there.
As of yet.
Not yet, no, not quite. So yeah, I've been working there for 3 years, and then during my spare time, I am an artist. So I do human, people, and pet portraits.
Marvellous. And yourself, Jamie?
So I'm Jamie. Obviously, best friends with Tom for a very long time. So I was a Coast Guard until 2.5 weeks ago. I've just done 5 years service in HM Coast Guard at Beachy Head in East Sussex. Probably a lot of you will know what that involves up there. But my main profession is photography. You can see the logo behind us. I've been doing that since 2013. I've been doing that. So I do weddings, portraits, I do promo videos and stuff like that for businesses. So I'm self-employed. Unfortunately, again, I'm furloughed myself. But it's plenty of time to go out detecting. The bookings are still coming in for next year, so I'm still happy. I'll get plenty of time to go out and swing that machine.
Fantastic. So, marvellous. I just have to say hello as well because I missed Rob Random out and he's telling me to say his name because I'm a bearded, what is it? Bearded bugger. And my beard's been on Miracle Grow. No, it's just normally I have a shave there. It's just this week I'm lazy. So, gents, you've said you've known each other a long time. How long has it been?
25 years.
25 years this January this year.
So he was only little then.
Yeah.
that actually wasn't meant as it came out. I'll leave my coat. Turn the lights off.
Sneaky.
Don't.
Yeah, 25 years this year. We grew up, so I moved to Eastbourne away from Kent. And I moved to a street called Hampton Avenue, and Tom was outside playing football. And as my dad was unloading the fan, Tom invited me over to play football. And I was 4 years old at the time. So, no, I was 3. And he was out playing with his mum and dad, and they said, did you want us to watch him and play? And ever since then, it's been a good blossoming friendship.
Yeah, a bit of a bromance. Some people would say that we're more of a married couple than anything else. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a long time, but it's been well worth every minute of it.
And you've been detecting together. I take it they started detecting at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the story of us getting into metal detecting was basically, I know Jamie likes watching Gold Rush and programs like that, and I watch Cursey Oak Island. So I tried for over a period of a year getting Jamie to watch this program, and he finally watched it after a couple of seasons of watching it and gave me a call one evening and said, do you fancy getting a metal detector and giving that a go? So,
if they can do it, we can do it.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, so kind of stemmed from there, really. And
yeah, I mean, I remember you was like, is this going to be one of them things that you say, let's do it, and then kind of it fails 2 months later. So it's like, well, you go get a machine and I'll be your digger. So Tom carried the spade for me for the first month, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I'll do the detecting. So I had my mini little digger with me, and since then I was like, yeah, I really like this because I found we got our first permissions in Barking Mills. And a lot of people will know where that is, and they know it's a very historical area. And I only had a cheap machine. I think it was a Quest X5. I think I've still got it in the coal shed. and we was finding coins with it. And I was like, "This is awesome! Like, we can do this."
Yeah, yeah.
And then you decided to get a machine.
Yeah, yeah.
And then from there, it blew up. And then next thing you know, we was onto better machines within no time. I think I upgraded within 3 months of buying my first machine to a better one. So yeah, it's been a good adventure that we started. We're definitely not looking back.
And what machines have you both had?
So I've had the Quest X5 for myself, which was my first machine. Actually, no, this is live. We're gonna have to tell them with me.
Yeah.
So, all right, don't judge us, okay? But me and Tom bought some knockoffs for our first ever machine.
Oh.
And it was shocking. I think mine's still upstairs. I should have brought it down, to be fair. But we
did find a couple of coins with them, though.
We did, but they were surface fine. But from that, I quickly progressed to the Quest X5, which I got for Father's Day, which was a really nice surprise. And then from that, 3 months later, I upgraded to the Equinox 800, and I wouldn't go for any other machine now. They're my go-to machines. I mean, all the other machines are great, but the Nox for me is the way forward.
And what about yourself, Tom?
So I got a second-hand C-Scope 3MX. Had that for 6 months. I did find a Roman Denari with that machine.
Yeah.
And my first lead token with that machine. And a few other lovely, and a silver, 50% silver with that machine as well. But yeah, then I moved on to the Nox Macro multi-cruiser. And like James says, never look back. I've kind of sussed that machine inside and out.
He thinks he has, anyway.
Fantastic.
Found some lovely stuff with that machine.
Great. Well, we've got some images to look at, which we'll do in the second half of the show. Do you know what's doing my head in here tonight? I've moved my camera inadvertently. I'm like a giant tonight. I'm filling the entire screen. I'm punched down and everything. Sit back and look up.
Sit back and relax.
Yeah.
Chill out. There you go. See this as well. Look at that. I got it right hand side as well. So, have you both got many permissions between you?
We've got quite a bit. I mean, we do post up about some of the ones we get. We post up about on the group that we've got. But all in all, without kind of sounding big head, we're probably pushing 16,000 acres between the two of us.
Yeah.
But when that comes down to two of us, we don't actually keep it to ourselves. We've got a little group to the side, like a messenger, for we call it the trusted detectorists, and they're like friends of ours that don't have permission and they can't get the permission. So at the moment, we just got a 1,200 acre permission, and that's for 7 of us to go to whenever we want to go to it. The only rule is they can't go there without us. But, the main farm is our Celtic farm.
Yeah, where you found your quarter stater.
Yeah. Well, I found a Willet's nipple, which I think you get guys shared at some point, and Julian Nevin Hart also shared it in the Treasure Hunter magazine, which was amazing to see my find go in there within such a short period of time and protecting.
Yeah.
And then within a month of finding the stater, I found a Celtic coating in exactly the same field. So it's been that's probably our most precious farm. No one's ever been to it, and I doubt anyone will ever go to it. We chased that farm for 6 months. It was a really hard farm to get with it.
Yeah,
it was a
we
really
had
hard
to
farm.
do a lot of research to convince the landowner.
And he said no to hundreds of textures before, and I really wanted to ask her what we did different. And she finally put the question, and she said, "You didn't chat crap."
Yeah.
Like she said, I've had a lot of people come here going on with professional metal detectorists. Like I do this professionally, I do it full time, which some people do it full time. Some people are professionals out in the world, but I think they were banging on about it a bit too much, and I think she clocked onto that.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, every time, and she said, come to the door, you was truthful, you just seemed yourself, and that's why she gave us the permission. So we was very lucky to get that. But yeah, we've got quite a few permissions, and we do share them out to other people.
And I take it this is, as your logo says behind you, in East Sussex.
Yeah.
That's a show. How are you checking?
I haven't looked at a logo in a long time. Based in East Sussex. I mean, for us two down here, the history isn't amazing. I mean, there's a lot of history, don't get me wrong. We're not ungrateful for what we've got, but we all know the further north you go, the more you find.
You're joking, aren't you?
Well,
I live just above the Midlands and I have to keep going south.
we have to go meet up with Marky Mark on metal detecting.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're based in Sussex and we're very lucky. I think 3 of our permissions are very productive for Roman finds and Saxon and Celtic stuff.
Yeah.
So, them 3 things, we tend not to hit them so often because we're scared of pulling everything out all at once. So we kind of like spot ourselves around sort of thing, which is really good. But we've just got an estate to protect.
Yeah.
Obviously, can't state which one, but we're very lucky to get that, and we've got to have an official license card to carry with us.
Yeah.
We're out in this estate, and one of the farms actually had a Roman settlement on it. We haven't been on it yet because we haven't got the license to go onto the farm yet. It's been a bit of a long-winded application, but we are very close to getting out on that permission. So I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully we'll have some more good finds coming up. So yeah,
Sounds brilliant.
It's been very interesting.
I'm not sure if I can do this relaxed, you know. It's doing me head in. But I can't come forward or I'm like that. I'm gonna have to sit like that. Delete. Only wrestling fans will get that one.
Yeah.
Is it Eastbourne, I take it you both live in, or that area?
Eastbourne, yeah.
It's an area that I've not been to. I'll be honest, when I've been holidaying with the folks in the past, it was Bournemouth, New Forest, that area. So I've never been that side of the south coast. Luke's obviously invited me multiple times, as has Graham Stokes, as have other people. Niall Bailey and Kev Marchese invited me down multiple times in the past, but it's quite a jaunt. So unfortunately, I've not made it as yet.
Now too, so that's another one.
Woohoo! I have to write all these invites down and go up on them someday. And it does sound, I mean, obviously there's a lot, I see a lot of Luke's videos from that sort of area, and there is a lot of history that is, I know you're saying it's not as historic in that area as is going north, but going north, why am I putting my hand up? That's north.
Talking with your hand.
It's because I'm sat relaxed. Yeah, you say going north gets better, but you know, you've had your gold stater, which I think we'll be looking at later. You've had a lot of other nice, decent finds. I'm sure you could bring 10 out the box each straight away. Luke himself, there's been great finds there. I know Kev Marchese had a nice gold coin up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I wish I was there that day just to give him a hug and just say, look, it's okay, you found it. Like, look, it's not a dream.
Kev's a playboy. He doesn't need any more hugs.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. Yeah, I mean, he took his shirt off apparently. He started getting his old 6-pack out, and the sexy boy was running around the field. So I was well happy when I found out he found that coin, because he takes a lot of people to his permission, and they find a lot of good stuff on his land.
Yeah.
And for him to go and find that gold coin was
Like good karma. That.
Yeah, it's like you finding it and being like somebody else finding it, and you. Well, no, how'd you say that? Me finding the gold coin, but it was somebody else that found it, and you was just as happy for them as finding it. So
yeah.
I was really happy you found that gold coin.
One day I'm going to find a gold coin. Probably a pound coin, but it'll be gold.
Bad few of them.
Yeah, plated.
I've got a bit of oh, there's the microphone gone for the Burton. Got a bit of gold spray paint here. I could do myself something up now, to be honest.
Yeah, just don't let somebody else find the hoard of them, because I think it was very happy with you.
You mentioned about your Facebook group as well.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Go on, you go with big finds, small finds.
So yeah, on the big finds, small finds, we use that Facebook page as a link for advertising on YouTube, We do whenever we're out in the field, we'll say that we're going out today, and we'll post up our finds that we get throughout the day to keep interacting with our members. So yeah, really that's a page that we use to sort of interact and advertise our YouTube, really.
And how did the YouTube group come about?
It was a hard one. We obviously we learned kind of some of our stuff from YouTube. And there's some YouTube followers out there that are probably watching today. I mean, there's the smaller ones, and I think the smaller ones were the ones that kind of helped us come along. And it was from there that we was like, well, what's so hard about this? And I think we went out about 4 times and had the camera in front of our face and go, no, I can't do this.
But not only that, the fact that we did have some nice permission, and we were putting out some nice finds quite regularly. We felt like it was a good time to start cataloguing it and recording that for other people to see.
Yeah, I think for us it was the fact that we were so new to this hobby that it was just right to show them that you don't need to know everything. And I think we learned a lot very fast in the very short amount of time that we've been doing it. But with that, it come from a lot of experience from going to Luke's digs, for instance. So the first time we went to Luke's dig, so we've been to a few, and then we've dotted around, and they're a bit far. It was like, is there any close to home, like sort of thing? And I can't remember how we found Luke's digs. Obviously, Southeast Metal Detecting Rallies, and we've grown to be part of that club like quite a bit, and that is our go-to club now. We wouldn't, well, we would, but when we go up like on road trips up to, so we're going to Lincolnshire next month for the weekender. But Luke's digs were different.
The community,
the community, the people that helped you, they talked to you, and it wasn't the case of just going there and metal detecting and getting on with like it. You literally sit there and have a conversation. I mean, we'll go to a dig and I probably won't even detect for 3/4 of the day. I'll probably only detect 1/4 of the day. The rest of it, I'm just sat there chatting to people. But the YouTube channel was there to show the newer people coming into this hobby that it's okay to mess up. It's okay not to know what you don't know what you're doing, and just to kind of show them how we done it. So we done a live video going out and getting permission, and it was stuff like that we was kind of doing just to show people, oh, if we can do it, you can do it too. So that was the whole point of that YouTube channel coming apart.
When you say about messing up and not knowing what you're doing, look at me. Look at tonight's show already. But hey, it's fun.
But then
I've got a list of questions. Luke's provided me with some of them, obviously, knowing your area as well as he does, and obviously, too big again, as I don't. One thing he has asked me to remind people is, can you please support Big Finds, Small Finds by subscribing to their YouTube page? That would be delightful. There it is. Look at that. Oh no. Well, it's Big Finds, Small Finds anyway. Yeah, well, no, he got it right on straight away. I tell you what, he's good as Luke, isn't he? He's better than me. In fact, one week Luke should do this.
Yeah, he should interview Luke. Yeah. That'd be very interesting to watch.
Where are we on the questions? Tom, he's put this because I think you've obviously okayed it with him to ask. Being a small guy, how did that come into play in choosing your machine? Yeah, small. Shaft length, weight, etc.
So essentially, when I was looking for a metal detector, I did a lot of research, generally on the aspects of their performance. But regarding to my condition, I had to work out how far a detector would collapse to meet my height. So a lot of metal detectors would reach my height and some wouldn't. And then I had to kind of match up that with my personal preferences on brand or performance and things like that. So, and that's why I went with the multi cruiser, because that fit everything that I needed. Weight as well. I mean, I'm pretty strong, but you know, I wouldn't personally feel without a harness I could swing a 15-inch coil all day. Yeah, so weight and the collapsibility of the shaft was the two main things for me.
And you mentioned there's a condition. Would it be okay that I ask what your condition is?
Okay, yeah. Short, it's called Janssen syndrome.
Now try and pronounce it.
Janssen syndrome.
So the long one is a metaphyseal chondrodysplasia Janssen syndrome.
Now pronounce it.
Janssen syndrome.
Right, so that's essentially my bone structure, skeletal. I also have scoliosis, which many people would know that's curvature of the spine. I have a rod in my lower spine. That wasn't spotted until quite late, so it's severe. Double curvature. So the rod there is not to straighten the spine, it's to prevent it getting worse. And then I wasn't born with that. That was kind of a condition that developed as a way of, as I grew and I was, my body was changing, and there was compensation there, and my back became the main compensation for that growth. And then thirdly, that I was born with is cranial synostosis. So it's the join of the cranium. So when obviously you're born as a baby, as you grow, your skull will grow with you. My skull is fused, so I've had several head operations to make my skull bigger.
Wow. So it's been difficult, but metal detecting, I take it that helps. Exercise especially.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a pretty outgoing guy, very sociable. So, like Jamie said, going to loose digs, the social aspect is brilliant. Physically, it's good for me because, you know, I can wake up some mornings and be very stiff. So metal detecting gives me that ability to stretch my legs, stretch my muscles, just kind of not seize up really. But I suppose that's the same with a lot of people. With, you know, some people complain about back, and getting out and about helps with that.
I have to behave when I'm on the show, and I was so close to doing a fanar moment then, but being polite and as nice as I am, I'm not going to say anything about waking up stiff in the morning at all. I won't do
that. I do that every morning. I still don't get sorted out.
So it's obviously as therapeutic for, you know, there's a lot of people with different conditions, both medical and physiological, mental, who the whole process of metal detecting, from getting up, the excitement of doing it, being out, the walking, the fresh air, it all helps in different ways to a lot of people. But, you know, you're another prime example of somebody who wants to do it, who can, and it shows that that anybody could do it. As I said before at the start of the show, my friend, he's on a Zimmer frame, more or less, and he's been out and about detecting himself. So, you know, it's a big up again for the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to add quickly that, you know, when I was a young lad, like Jamie said at the beginning of the show, how we met playing football. I've got my parents to thank really for the person that I am today, because they would let me go out and play football with the other lads on the street, and they would wrap me up in cotton wool.
I remember the point you coming home from the hospital and them turning around telling you that there could be a potential of Tom not walking in the future.
Yeah.
And his mum and dad could have wrapped him up on cotton wool as anything, but they didn't. They gave him the electric wheelchair. They let him go out. I used to love that electrical show.
My parents tried to cut me out into the world as anyone else really, and said, you know, get on with it, and if you come home with any cuts and bruises, so be it. But there's one story whereby I'd recently had an operation on my leg, so I was on crutches, full of plaster on my leg and that, in a cast. And my old man got a phone call from the school saying, Tom's out in the playground in goal playing football. Should he be doing that? My dad was like, no. So yeah, no, it's that sort of attitude that my parents have given me, just to kind of get out there and get on with it, really.
Fantastic.
I mean, for me, like, to see like Tom to go out and metal detecting as well is, for him to come and do it. When I said to him, let's do it, and he said yes, that was a bonus. I mean, it's metal detecting for disabilities and mental health. I mean, it definitely helps mental health as well, because I left the Coast Guards 2.5 weeks ago for a specific reason, but last year there was a specific job that happened at BG Head that changed my life completely. And even Tom said to me a year later on from that job that you've changed as a person. For a year, I was suffering. I had to go see a psychiatrist, and I just wanted to be in my own little bubble from this job. I won't go into details, but unfortunately it involved 2 kids and a father. And it wasn't the kid's choice to go. And for me to be there at that job, it was a hard year, having 2 daughters of my own. And for that year, it took me a long time to try and become the Coast Guard that I needed to be again. And being metal detecting actually took over my role of being a Coast Guard. And I'm not even sorry for that at all, because I'd rather go metal detecting than go to the Coast Guards.
Yeah.
Because metal detecting was helping with my mental health. And now I've left the Coast Guards, I feel 100% more better. And just detecting out in the countryside with Tom and friends, and it's there, and that kind of mental support is there without actually having to ask for it. And a lot of people don't actually understand that about metal detecting until they start it. So for me, that's like a bonus in metal detecting itself as well.
Fantastic. Well, at this point, gentlemen, it's our go for a wee period shortly. So Luke will be popping up some adverts any moment. So before that, still to come in the show, we've got images to look at, and we'll continue chatting with Tom and Jamie. So
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
Sorry ass DJ.
I think this is what people think, or a toy shop. A little bit too about the situation. I think whatever you actually been involved with the whole thing is
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the big detecting show with our guest tonight, Jamie Evans and Tom Evans. That's where I got mixed up. Jamie Tom. Just back into the chat room. Good evening, Rod West, Dalboy, Lee Hull, one of our moderators on the Facebook page, Niegos Tufi, who pointed us out to the Bosnian Sword in the Stone earlier. Can I ask you both, do you know Rob Random?
Is he the guy that's Rob Random?
Rob Random.
Question about Tom being into acting.
That's the one, because I wasn't going to ask it if you don't know him.
Tom wants to be a Ewok.
Ewok, yeah. Ewok. The footsteps of Warwick Davis.
Mini-me.
So Tom takes the wee out of himself as much as I do for being fat myself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
good lad. Best way to be. Bugger them all. Rob Random, TC Detects, James Taylor. Multiple people have said that they've popped in and subscribed to your YouTube page, which is
Big by Small Parts Metal Detecting UK. That was a bit delayed.
Stan's Lad, Petagon. Good evening, Petagon. Where are we? More Rob Random, Nicola Roberts. Good evening, Nicola Roberts. Relics and Roots. I've just got an official gold digger. Good evening, Canada. Got some good friend, a very good friend, but some very good friends over in Canada, in Nova Scotia, in Halifax. Good friend of mine, Paul Kimball, who I keep trying to get on the show, but he's more paranormal orientated, but he's just done a fantastic documentary series, because he's a filmmaker on Canadian maritime museums and maritime places. So give that a look out. Look out for Paul Kimball, official gold digger. Cruiser is king. Tom Shively says, "What up, guys?" That was me doing Eminem then. Obviously, I'm not very good at it. So what I'm going to do now, you've provided a bunch of images, which we are going to have a look through, and you can tell us all about them. So I'll share the screen again, please, Mr. Higgins, without audio, because I don't need it. People shout at me whenever I'm doing a video in the future to remind me I need to do the audio. So I'm just going to go through them as they've come. So how I've downloaded them, obviously, will be in a certain A to B, ABC sense. So this is first up. What have we got here?
I believe we're just having a conversation between ourselves. I believe that is a sixpence, and the reason I put that in there is because the bust on it. That is when that come out of the ground. That was off the Celtic farm, and I actually thought it just been planted there because of how minted it was. But it was in pasture. We all know if it's in pasture, it's probably going to come out more preserved than any other place. But like when I saw it, I was just amazed by that coin, and that's actually my favourite one. I've given a lot of my silvers away back to farmers in competitions, but that's the only one that will stay with me.
That's it is very prominent. The writing obviously is very good. You don't see many of that era in that decent condition. Fair play. So what have we got next? There we go. Next one. I can zoom in. Sussed how to do this. Look at this. Woohoo!
Okay, yeah. So this is a Queen Elizabeth threepence that I found not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago actually. The reason that image is in there because I have found previous hammer coins in ploughed soil, but that was my first a coin that I found on pasture. So it was a big learning curve for me in terms of understanding the signal and the tone.
Yeah.
Multi-cruiser in pasture. And it come up in reasonably nice condition as well.
It's very nice. Now this is beautiful.
So this was again off the Celtic farm, and when we say things were coming up, so we started this farm in the heat of the winter. So last year we had a really bad winter where we had rain constant and the crops were hard to come through. It was a signal every 2 minutes, wasn't it? And I remember this coming up, and I didn't have a clue what it was. I knew it was old, and I knew it was silver. So I had tinfoil on me, so I've done the spit and tinfoil straight away. And we believed that this is classed as treasure, and it has been sent off, and it is circling the museums. Well, part of it is because I found the other part the other day. But it is a medieval bracelet. So it'd be like the early stages of medieval times.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for the date to come back, but it is currently off to the museum class as treasure.
And you say you found the other part a few days ago?
Yes, here.
That is luck. Beautiful engraving on it. Lovely. Beautiful find. Next up, where are you now? You? That's because I haven't done that, isn't it? What's happening here? Come on, where are you? Let's start again, shall we? So, stay where you are, Luke. Stay where you are. Nice little collection.
Okay, so this image is my silver collection finds from since lockdown. Obviously, being furloughed, I'm out quite a bit now detecting, and my finds rate has shot through the roof as a result. So yeah, that's an image of all my silvers that I found since lockdown. I believe there's a hammered in there, and at the top there is a lovely St. Christopher's pendant. Probably,
that was stunning.
Yeah, that came out really nice. That did. So very chuffed with that find. And then yeah, so there's my my find since lockdown.
Fantastic. I think you probably have taught yourself to use the cruiser, understand it better since the lockdown and what have you. You're better than ever now. You're spending so much time with it.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, I did find a quarter stater 2 months after I had the cruiser, which I'm sure we'll get to in a minute with the images. But yeah, definitely since spending so much time out in the field due to furloughed, I've learned the machine inside out now, and it's been a joy.
Brilliant. What have we got here?
That is my Celtic Potin.
Now, can you explain what that is? Because I thought it was a Russian president.
If I am correct, and I hope I'm correct, because this is information that's been passed on to me, so don't shoot the messenger. It is the first ever known coinage to man in a shape of circular or lead.
You would have had your Celtic ring money, but in terms of a disc,
yeah,
like a coin, that would have been
like the first kind of disc coinage to man.
So, do you know what the markings represent?
No, so I've tried doing research. So at the moment, I'm actually getting my stater and the Celtic Potin sent off to Chris Rudd's, which they're going to look at and validate them. I'm not sure whether I'm going to sell them. Probably not, but I wanted to get them checked out anyway by a professional. But I believe that the Potin is made of lead tin-ish, like a tin.
An alloy.
Cement sort of thing. But I don't know what the logo is yet, and I'm hoping Chris Rudd might come back and go, this is the design.
That looks a bit snaky there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and what I've been told is that there's not many ones that come up looking like this. So one sold in auction last year that I managed to find on the internet, and it sold for around about £4,000.
Wow.
because the mint condition is. Because normally they have like a flick off from where they've like been cut off from the units. But that's actually quite a smooth edge, but at the back you can see it. But it's been a very clean cut.
Mm. Very interesting. I've not personally heard of that at all.
I might be wrong.
I'm not going to do the zooming in anymore because I lose me left to right.
So this is my hammered coin. That was a Elizabeth sixpence, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest hammered coin I've ever pulled out the ground.
Yeah.
When I pulled that out, I was like, oh, here we go, like another button or something like that. And then boom, that come out, and I was just gobsmacked to see something so big.
Mm.
Like, that was the biggest hammered, and I think it's still the biggest hammered coin I've got to date. So I was really happy with that, and that will stay with me for a very long time.
And she's been assassinated by the look of the hole in her head as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that would be classed as jewellery. I'm guessing it would have been put around the neck because I don't see anything in the. It's a pasture field, so I don't see anything in the ground like a plough or anything like that. Even getting into it. So, and it was shaped an S, so it could have been a love token as well.
Right, I'm with you.
I have actually taken it as a yes and worn it around the neck.
Mint. Now this is a beautiful little baby.
Look at that smile.
So yeah, this is my Celtic quarter stater that I found in the West Country 2 months after I had the multi-cruiser. It wasn't too deep. It's about 3 inches. The signal was a little bit iffy because obviously the size of it. But because of the colour, it may sound a bit silly, but I'd never pulled gold out of the ground before, so because of the rose colour, I wasn't 100% sure whether it was actually gold, but due to the markings, I knew that it was something special. So that's on the other image, you'll see the V1, which stands for Verica. It's Regini and Archbates area, and it's dated from 10 to 40 AD.
Wow. Madness. Did you do the gold dance?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, once I had the confirmation that it was, yeah.
Another fantastic little collection.
So that is my silver collection since lockdown.
Wow.
I mean, the Equinox 800 loves it's like a silver shooting machine. But yeah, that was from mainly pasture, obviously the crop being on. But the ring in the middle was off at a ploughed field that never had the crop put in this year. So I was very lucky to have one crop field the whole year.
Yeah.
So the ring come out there, and most of the hammers come out of the pastures. I think there's 2 hammers in there that did come out of a plough, but it was a wildlife one which was going to be turned over soon. So they said that we could end up going in there. So we was very lucky.
Both very lucky with your silver since lockdown.
Yeah.
Some beautiful bits. Jamie Evans photography.
Oh.
Oh, a bit of self-promotion. Let's show a picture of God smiting fish.
Done that one on the slide.
Oh dear. Well, we're talking about anyway. So last night, obviously, storms coming in and stuff like that. So we was due a storm last night. It never hit mainland, but there was a storm out in the channel. And I sat up beachhead for 4 hours yesterday evening, taking photos. Of course, I am a professional photographer. I've been doing it for a very long time, and that is one of the images that I captured last night.
Brilliant. Of God smiting fish. Fantastic image.
A shipwreck that hasn't been found yet.
Take it this is the other side of the quarter stater.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you see the V1 there, which stands for Verica, and obviously the horse rearing. Yeah, it's in great condition. Absolutely over the moon with that find.
That was a great one. I remember him coming over to me. I felt like kicking him in the face. I didn't believe it first.
calls him my best mate and he wants to kick you in the face.
No, I'll bite his ankles later.
What we got here? 1567 is that?
Yeah, I believe so. So that's Elizabeth first threepence. So that was found a few weeks ago as well on one of our new permissions. No, actually, no. That's a six. That's a sixpence. Yeah, that's been clipped quite a bit around the edges.
Yeah.
And on the other side of that coin, I've been told that she wasn't a very popular queen, so people used to sit there and rub her face off, which is what's happened with that hammered coin. But that one has been donated to the landowner.
Brilliant.
He's got a permission. He's got a museum as well on his land. So
great.
We donate to that museum.
Brilliant. This the stater again?
Yes, so that is my Celtic stater.
Oh, this is your one, yeah?
This is my one. This is a Willits nipple quarter stater, dated 20 to 60 BC. Classed as a rare coin due to it being misstruck by mismatched dies.
All right.
And on the back, it's got like a little nipple. I haven't shown you the back; I've just shown you the front. But that is the coin that made the treasure hunting magazine.
And what this is obviously one which Luke has shared in the past. What machine is that it's sat on?
Sorry?
Is that a machine that it's sat on or just a box?
No, so it's a box. So I've got the actual coin here. So it's actually sat. If you can see it.
Well, give me a second to go through these images, and then obviously we'll full screen. And this is the last image anyway.
So this buckle was what's believed a medieval buckle, and when this buckle come out, I was absolutely gobsmacked to see so much detail. I think it was the first ever buckle that I found, and I never kind of let it go because it was such a little beauty. And I wouldn't normally show buckles, but that one was quite something special. So
yeah, it's lovely, yeah. Right, I will stop sharing and we'll come and have a look at your coin.
So the thing that it was in one of these.
Right, yeah, I've got several of them, yeah.
Yeah, so we get ours from Graham Dempsey in composite cleaning pencils. So last week, I think it was, Graham basically decided he was going to sponsor us and wanted to sponsor us, which was really nice of him. So we've kind of got all the Graham stuff and we're using it, and we at the end of our videos in the future we're going to be doing some of the cleaning stuff side of things so people can see these materials being used.
Yeah.
Because he I wouldn't say he's new, but obviously he's been doing it a long time. But when I first heard about him, I never heard about him before. There he is. He's a great guy, and his materials are absolutely high-end stuff.
Great products.
It is great products, and I wouldn't get it for anywhere else. I haven't tried any others, but I'm happy with the ones that Graham provides us. So we will add some to the end of the YouTube videos in the future to show you how good these are. And they do come with, like, as you can see at the bottom, it comes with Roman coins, it comes with wax. I don't think there's a new one on there. So he's got some new. So
yeah, I've got him in front of me. Yeah, I've got that. It's the fine coin and artifact cleaning powder, which goes along with the wax, and also the 4 little brass inserts as well, which go into the pencil for a little bit more stubborn. So you've got that and the cleaning powder as well. Yeah, fantastic product. I can't speak highly enough. Again, I've not tried anything else for Renaissance wax or anything, but well, the only thing I've used myself otherwise was a tip that was given 2 years ago, which is beeswax spray. And I'd actually contacted the company who manufacture this and discussed, you know, about the benefits for metal detecting, and it's £1.79 for a massive tin, and I've had that for about 5 years. But you know, Graham kindly offered me the kit, and it's I use that for the table now.
It's very good stuff. Very good stuff. Like the hairspray works as well. So I think Mark also mentioned it when he was on the show, and I think that's where I got my tip from, was for hairspray for your like Roman coins. It preserves it, and you can take it off it if it needs further examination. But yeah, I mean, Graham Dempsey's cleaning kits, high-end stuff, and I highly recommend it.
And it does Claudius's hair brilliantly as well.
Yeah.
There was a Roman question before off Rob Random. Which one of you would win in a gladiator fight, and what weapons would you choose? Roman era only.
I'd probably go for a spear, because
You wouldn't be able to catch me?
no, I would need the extra length from my arms.
But what if I fuck up the end of it? You'd be like that person that like, runs on the spot trying to get
Yeah, maybe a knife as well.
Yeah, I'll go for a spear as well. We can have a spear fight.
Absolutely. Why don't you just have them gladiator things with the big hurdy-gurdies on the end and give it some of that?
Yeah, I'll be on the chariot as well, though, because I want to look cool.
Talk to Mike Smith, Borrowers. Anybody, obviously, I've been sharing a screen, so I'm just looking through. There's no questions as of yet, apart from Rob Random's. But if anybody else does have any questions, please pop them into Facebook where you're watching, or YouTube where you're watching, and we will see what's what. John Clayton, I used to have a deep fat fryer with candles to preserve my iron fines. So you'd fry the fines in candle wax. I see what you mean. Yes, so anybody else who does have any questions, please pop them in the chat room wherever you're watching, and we will we'll get them over. So in the coming weeks, months, what plans have you got for metal detecting?
Well, the big one for me. So we are going to try this with Tom. We've decided. We spoke about it the other day, didn't we? Have a lot of conversation about it.
Remind me.
So there's going to be a new adventure coming to the YouTube channel. So I am just about to do my open water scuba diving course.
Brilliant.
And from that, I'll be doing another course, which is my advanced course for video photography and photography underwater. For two reasons. One, I want to start by doing rivers for treasure hunting where I can. We have a lot of water on our land. We have a lot of streams that go through, and some of them are very deep. So I will be doing that. But Tom, we are possibly looking at putting Tom on a test dive to see if Tom can handle this.
Yeah.
So Tom does sink when he goes in the water.
I'm not very buoyant.
He's a 10 gnome that just sinks.
I'm like a brick. I am.
But
So does that mean you're a witch?
yeah.
Some might say that. Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be coming to the channel very soon. I have got my test dive on the 8th of September. So after that, I'll be on my open water course, which I believe is about a week or so. And then from there, we will start having underwater footage of hopefully some finds coming out underneath the water. And
Fantastic.
We can get you and hopefully get Tom in the water as well.
We do have a question. South Coast Detecting out of Weedle asks, who came up with the channel name?
Me. I mean, so like we said earlier on, so Tom can take banter very well. I mean, if it's some random in the street, he'll probably get knocked out. But if you know him and like, you're kind of friendly with him, then it's a different story. So me and Tom were always taking the mick out of each other, and it's kind of like we sat there with what's different. I mean, you have like the searches, you have let's go like metal detecting, and we wanted something different, and it isn't necessarily something you could type into YouTube, but when we have the metal detecting on the end, it should start popping up, providing we start growing as a channel. And I said, what about big finds, small finds? And Tom was like, I absolutely love it. He didn't punch me in the face until he
Do you know when Luke first mentioned it to me, I've got to admit, I was singing Big Cook, Little Cook in my head. Big finds, little finds.
That was a good little kids program. I used to watch that all the time.
Rod West asks, what would you most want to find?
You want to go? It's a hard one. I mean, before it was a stater, and I found it so early on, it kind of my bucket list went. So for me, probably now either a silver or gold matrix.
Yeah.
My bucket list now.
I've got a normal matrix on my find. What about yourself, Tom?
Yeah, so me would be a matrix seal as well. With my drawing that I do, my portraits, when obviously it's early days yet, but when it comes to setting up social media platforms and websites and things like that, and I have to deliver my my images, my pictures off to the clients. When I package them, it would be nice to actually have some candle wax and seal the drawings with a seal that I found out the ground. That's why I'd like to find one.
Or invent one, your own one, and even if it's your own logo in, get it made into a proper one.
I mean, I am due to be receiving a 3D printer within the next couple of weeks, so I could, quite easily design my own and have my logo onto that. Yeah,
my brother, he's got one, and he printed out for me about a month ago now. I've got, King Arthur from Tintagel.
Yeah.
Well, you know how expensive they are from the National Trust or English Heritage. Sorry, he printed me one of them out. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
absolutely stunning.
Looking forward to receiving it and getting some nice prints out of it.
Absolutely. Adam Weedle asks, what type of field suits you better, stubble, pasture, or ploughed?
Plough,
yeah.
Yeah, me too. Stubble does me head in, and pasture winds me up.
Yeah, I mean, most of our land is plough. Thankfully, we're very lucky with that. But at the moment, there is a little stubble on it. But with the rain the last couple of days, and it's kind of softened it up. So we was out there today, and a lot more come up than what we was actually expecting to come up. So we've been detecting near so right on the entrance of one of our fields is an 11th century church.
Mm-hmm.
And today some stuff started coming up. We pulled a hammer up there the other day, didn't we? And on the same farm, Saxon Skeets, Gold Noble Queen weights have come up. We had a Roman coin come up. It wasn't silver, but it looked silver. Silver wash come up. So but that was the farm that we've got as like the 7 of us. So there wasn't all our finds, but it was good to still see them come up.
You're going to see me doing all Tourette's in a minute because his daddy long legs come in the window.
Yeah.
Graham Lowe asks, Jamie, what camera do you use and do you photograph your good finds?
I use a Canon 7D Mark II, and yes, I do. So the images that you saw earlier on, so the buckle, the stator, and there might be another one in there, would have been used with my camera. So we've got, I think we've got it here. Oh, dropping everything. So we use this little bit of wood,
mm-hmm.
and we use this plant pot. So it sit like this, and that'd be how we take the photo with the background.
Fantastic. Adrian Gaylor asks, do you do much beach detecting?
We have done a little bit in the past, not to great success.
I think our best success the other morning.
Yeah, I mean it is an area that we would probably like to improve on.
Yeah.
But we don't tend to do it too much. We do like our pastures and fields.
Yeah.
Official Gold Digger from Canada, he said, would love to do a sticker swap if anyone would like to. If you go to our Facebook group, the Big Metal Detecting Show, and you put that information on there, I'm sure you'll get some reactions, and I'll tag 1 or 2 people in it as well, and they'll do a sticker swap with you. Again, Aaron Weedle, on a bad hunt of finding rubbish, what find would be the turning point to make it worth it?
Anything silver.
Anything with a bit of age. Yeah, I mean, a hammered coin or your buckle with nice medieval buckle.
It just depends what when it comes out, what's on it. it's not necessarily whether it's gold, silver, the age. It's what's on that artifact or coin that's come out of the ground that makes it interesting.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if I pulled that buckle out and it's the only thing I had all day out of all the trash, I'd be over the moon because it was a stunning buckle. So, I mean, to be honest, I'd rather probably go to a field and pull out military stuff than pull out a Roman coin.
Yeah.
And that's only because I have a very good connection with World War II with my granddad and stuff like that. So for me, I'd rather pull out stuff that is not 5,000 years old, but for people that kind of fought for a country, and like this person that held this last fight was the person that went to war. So we're here to be able to set this field today. That's the sort of stuff
the personal aspect.
Yeah, the personal aspect.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched our D-Day special show where we had multiple people telling World War II stories. We had Julian Evan Hart on amongst several guests, but we had a lot of people sending in beforehand military finds, and there was some stunners. We actually put it together as a post on the website itself. But Nick West, if Nick West's still in the chat, if he could let me know or remind me what his Facebook group is called, that's right. So, but anybody else who was interested in World War II metal detecting finds, I'm sure if Nick's around, he'll be able to tell us. If not, tune in next week and I will let you know then. Phil Hardy and MS Detectorist basically asked the same question. What would be the ideal place for you to go and detect in the UK or abroad?
Rome. If I had a real one place I'd like to go to detect, it'd probably be Normandy.
That's a good shout, actually. That's a good shout, yeah. For me, it'll be Lincolnshire.
Your uncle.
Yeah, my uncle had a farm in the heart of Lincolnshire, 328 acres of land. He's not with us anymore, sadly. But if me and Jamie had been metal detecting 10 years ago, and we've only been doing it.
We would have moved there.
It would have been nice to get on that farm, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, my uncle was in the Air Force, and he was stationed at Scampton and somewhere else. I know what it is because they've done some Nimrod work. I used to work at BAE Systems on the Nimrod project, but Waddington, RAF Waddington, and he lived at Tattersall, directly opposite Tattersall Castle, which is a medieval castle. And just thinking back then, the playing field outside the house, the field behind the house, the garden even, it would have been absolutely... I was only about 7 or 8, so I wouldn't have even thought, but... MS Detectorist says, I'm in Lincoln, guys. Maybe we can sort something. That'll be fantastic for you, yeah, definitely.
Day for a day.
So I'm sure you could... Daddy long legs. It's rats. So I think that's all the questions now, chaps. Anyway, so... If you could, for those who obviously don't know, if you could run through your Facebook group and your YouTube channel again.
Yeah, so just quickly, if it's okay, I'd like to add. So we do have, obviously, Big Fine, Small Fine metal detecting, which is mine and Tom's personal YouTube channel. And there will be more posted on there than what I'm about to mention next. So there's a Facebook group called 4-Tone Searchers. This was created for me, Tom, Simon and Chris Weller. To come together and share our permissions as we were friends beforehand, and we both had very similar permissions, very productive permissions. So we come together to create the 4-Tone Searchers, and we've actually got a website where we sell clothing. We will promote other stuff through there. We've got a blog via there for certain finds. You can buy hoodies, mugs, anything really on there, and soon to be 3D printing of like hammered coins, like Roman empires that light up that you can put all your coins in and all that sort of stuff. So if you wouldn't mind checking out the 4-Tone Searchers as well, the group's been running for 5 weeks and it's already hit 655 people in the group already, which is absolutely amazing. And we do have a YouTube channel as well. It won't be used as much as the big finds, small finds, because obviously big finds and small finds is important to us guys. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind checking them out as well, us out as a group, that'd be fantastic. We'd really appreciate that. But,
And am I right in saying you might be having a competition running as well?
Mention it.
Yes, so once we hit 200 subscribers on the Full-Time Searchers YouTube channel, we will be doing a draw for a Not a Macro Mini 4 detector. So when that's released, one lucky winner will be able to have one of them for their own children or grandchildren.
If not for yourself, if you're Tom.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it out, to be fair. It's going to suit me perfectly.
So, again, for those who have subscribed already tonight to the big finds, small finds, have a look also at the 4-tone searches as well, which I've just subscribed to. I don't actually, I'll be honest, I don't always catch up on YouTube. It's I do it in bulk. I have that much going on. I just binge at some point. There is another question that I did miss, and it's been pointed out to me by Adam Weedle. I'm going to knock you out, not you. Steve Pettigan asks, what YouTube channels do you watch?
Okay, so I've watched South Coast Detecting, great guy.
I watch South Coast Detecting. So I'm not a big detectorist, but I do watch him as well. But just for the pure fact of his content. So just because you don't do something doesn't mean the content's not good. So yeah, I still watch him as well.
English history with Sid Perry.
Yeah. Marky Mark got metal detecting. So when we first started the channel, Marky Mark actually gave us a shout out on his channel and got us a few subs, which was really appreciated. So thanks again for that, Mark. Addicted to Bleaks, of course. Who doesn't watch him?
Yeah,
Legend.
But yeah, he's a really good guy. So I watch him quite a bit, and then all the lower ones. So the Treasure Bandits. We watch Treasure Bandits. I've got a massive list. Obviously, we watch Digger Dawn as well.
Digger Dawn, yeah.
Who else we got on there? I've got a list. So I only subscribe on YouTube to the ones that I watch, ones that get bogged out. Like I don't subscribe to people that are just like say they're running the competition. Or I don't just hit the subscribe button and leave me there because when YouTube get bogged out of stuff that I don't even want to watch.
Yeah.
So anyone that is, I'll put a screenshot up on our Facebook page later of all the people that are on our YouTube because there is quite a few on there.
Yeah, I mean, there's one channel that I watch that probably I know you don't watch because it doesn't necessarily relate to you, but that's
is it the Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine channel, Tom?
It's the Cruiser Boys. So they use lots of macro products. So obviously that relates to me a lot more than Jamie.
Yeah, so we've got Historical Magpies, the Detectives, England's History, Pomsey, which is there. Digger Dawn, 2-tone searchers, the Arch, Metal Detecting Lady, Ash Unearthed, and yeah, the list goes on. But the Pomsey was actually the first ever subscriber to our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and he's shown really good support for us over the last year or so. And the Historical Magpies, I mean, when we're ever out in the field with them, he's always like, "Oh, can I picture cordial finds? Or like link your YouTube channel." So I mean, it's amazing. Like the local YouTubers, they're not against each other; they're with each other.
Yeah,
that is amazing. And there's, I think, unfortunately, there is some YouTube channels out there that are against you if you do too well. But I love the fact that a lot of people, most of the people, are with you and not against you in the hobby. I love that.
Well, while we're talking YouTube, anybody who does want to follow us, ARCHMDMAG, the Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine, have a look for that. I think it's about 260 subscribers. I do try to do content in relation to metal detecting, but I find it a ball ache. I really do. I have done 1 or 2 videos, but I find it a ball ache. I'm much more happier going to a historic location and filming the location and talking about the history of the location from behind the screen. I have to do front screen here, so I can't be doing walking around the field and get my phone out and keep dropping it in mud.
I did see your first video pop up a couple of weeks ago.
Which one was that one?
It was your first one, and it was you said that you felt a little bit awkward doing it because you wasn't really a YouTuber for like metal detecting.
Yeah. I can't get my head. I'll do it. Don't get me wrong. I went to the beach on last Friday, and to press that in, got my machine out, Simplex, and I'm not a beach detectorist either. I can't get my head around it. It's just too much going on. I just like simple things. Missed it. Oh, got it. Daddy long legs. Who's got Tourette's? And I'm walking along, and I was happy. I semi understood it. You know, obviously, you have to learn. But by the time I'd walked back, I'd only been doing it 20 minutes, and by the time I walked past, I've never seen the sea come in anywhere as quick as the sea came in there. So, as I say, I started doing a metal detecting video, but it ended up being, "Hi, this is me. I'm metal detected. I pressed that in beach, and goodbye." That was it. So, just put it on Facebook to say, "Look at the beach, isn't it lovely?" So, that would be nice if you subscribe. We do have, when we the show goes out on the Spreaker, it automatically goes out onto YouTube as well. So, obviously, what we try and do, Luke's channel, UK Dirt Fishing, the reality of metal detecting, has obviously got bigger subscription. Tonight, obviously, yourselves have allowed us to piggyback your channel as well, so it's your show. It's out on your channel. I hope you get a bit on there as well. But we generally put everything out the reality of metal detector. I think I've got about 260 subscribers, but I done a video the other day at the Viking Axe. Went out for the first time with my 7-year-old son, where I found nothing but rubbish, and he went, "Dad, can I have a go?" and ended up finding a coin. So there's loads of content on there, absolutely loads of content. But obviously, it's just there. You can. I'm not bothered about subscriptions and what have you. It's just to document history, to be honest. So
that's the main point. I mean, when we're mainly in the winter, we've got our hoodies. We've got our Big Pints, Full Pints hoodies. And obviously, we're repping you guys. So we've got you guys down both sleeves of our hoodies. So we've got the ARCHMDMAG down there.
Marvellous, thank you.
We have just redesigned them for next year. So we're going to have 2 hoodies for next year, which will be the 4-tone searches again with the ARCHMDMAG down the side. Obviously, I okayed that with Luke. And then you're going to have Graham Dempsey on the back, along with subscribe to our YouTube channels. So hoodies for different videos, so be reaching out to hopefully both YouTube channels, and obviously we'll be at the Technical next year, fingers crossed. I'll come along and do some photos for you guys as well.
Well, hopefully if you've got one in fat BASTARD, I'll have to have one myself for them hoodies.
I mean, Graham Dempsey was 2 of them, so we'll drop me an inbox and we can definitely sort something out.
Marvellous. Well, we are completely out of questions, I think. Yeah. One thing that did come through, I got a text earlier from Scott from Detector Network. The big news from Detector Network, obviously the current Detector Network is very similar to Facebook, and it's well worth going on. He's the app is more or less live. He's got it on his phone. It's just public consumption. It's just ready for that. But he's launching any day now Detectorgram, which is his version of Instagram. So it will be linked to his Detector Network, so you can obviously use both. So that's very exciting. So, gents, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you both. It's I can't get people to grasp how difficult it is for me to live where I live, not being able to come down to your neck of the woods. Obviously, to spend more time with Luke, because, you know, behind the scenes, we get on like house on fire. He's invited me down multiple occasions, but also to see the likes of Graham Stokes, Nigel White, Kev Marchese, Niall, yourselves, Aaron Weedle, just to be able to get down there and do some detecting with yourselves. It's a complete pain in my backside that I live where I live.
Yeah.
Sorry?
holiday.
Book a week off, do the videos down at Luke's house, have a few beers, and you'll be laughing.
Well, it's my last day of my 3-week shutdown tomorrow. I'm back to work on Monday, so I don't get holidays. And the next holiday I get is in about 6 weeks, where Mrs. Sadler, in her infinite wisdom, has decided to book somebody to come and reflag the entire back garden while I'm off work.
Perfect time to come down here then.
So I just said you as well, Aaron. All the people down on the South Coast said Aaron, I think. I meant it anyway. Anyway, thank you again. It's been an absolute pleasure having you both and meeting you both for the first time as well. And obviously, you're welcome back anytime in the future. Just give Luke a shout and we'll sort out a date. Dates which we have. We do have up and coming dates. Next week, we have... who do we have next week? Catherine Lang and John Figgis from the Detecting Hub, which is a newly launched metal detecting forum on the interweb. So have a look at that in the meantime. If you don't know where it is, go onto our website, www.ARCHMDMAG.com, or Google the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, and there is an article introducing you to that. There's also an article introducing you to lesser known YouTubers, including these two nice gentlemen as well, so you'll be able to find links on there. And if you do have any questions in the meantime, please put them on the Big Metal Detecting Show Facebook group, or if you want to put any other information. We don't allow people to go OTT sharing their YouTube videos, because that's not what it's about. It's not being an arse or anything. They just do my head in. But if, like Tom and Jamie, you've come on the show, you've interacted a bit with the Big Metal Detecting TV show, you're more than welcome to share your YouTube videos. Just don't go ballistics and put 38 of them on one day. As I say, it's we just try to... We want people's finds to be seen as opposed to people's videos and self-promoting. Please look at my page and subscribe. There's far too much spamming in the world.
100%.
So, yeah, pop on there. Please help yourself. As I say, in 2 weeks' time, we're having a bit of an upgrade. We took on everything that you've all said. We asked the question, what can we do to improve the show? And we are adding quite a few differences. We've some big things happening on the 27th of August. We'll have new graphics, huzzah, and we will have several more other things, let's say. So until next week, thank you for all watching tonight. It's been great having you in there. Thanks for the community chit chat. Thank you to Jamie and Tom from Big Finds at Small Finds. And especially, as ever, to him upstairs, no, not God, although he may be, Mr. Luke Higgins, who the show wouldn't run without him. Yay, Luke. So thank you all again. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Jamie. And thanks, Luke. And thanks each and every one of you. And good night.
Good night.
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.